meet. That's what Democrats are about. And that's why when you look at the American Rescue Plan, it was an unmitigated success. And it was an unmitigated success for the right group of people, for the 90% of Americans who desperately need the help, not for the top 10% that the Republicans are always trying to deliver free.
President and his administration in efforts to save Social Security and help save recipients. But with the recession looming, many say it's a bad idea. As with the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund depletion it faces 2023 reports, the president has suggested that some are calling for a sweeping 4-point plan to bolster funds in the trust. The plan would also help the $22 trillion funding shortage shown in the 2023 Trustees Report if the federal government cannot fix the shortage. It could result in benefits cutting up to 24% of retirees beginning in 2033, while some of Biden's proposed changes will affect the high earners and company executives. Those who have retirement savings plan on potentially hiring than the average American. Some will affect the middle and low-income wage earners. Analysts have also noted that it will especially affect those who may rely on Social Security benefits in the future. Currently, any earned income below $160,000 is subject to a payroll tax. Earnings exceeding that amount are not subject to any taxes. Biden plans to tax the earned income above $400,000, leaving wages above $160,000, up to $400,000 untaxed. Each year, Social Security benefits are addressed and based on inflation adjusted through a cost of living allowance. Currently, the administration uses this to calculate the COLA, but this doesn't necessarily reflect the lifestyle and expenses of retired people. Shifting COLA calculations to figures tied to the Consumer Price Index for the elderly won't even solve the problem for Social Security running out of money. It could just put more money into the pockets of retired Americans who need it the most. The Primary Insurance Trust Fund is an amount indicating that how much Americans will receive in Social Security benefits. A lot depends on your age, when you began claiming benefits, and your average index monthly earnings. Increasing the primary insurance amount for Americans ages 72 to 82 would begin hiking interest rates in early 2022, because according to a chief of economists, although the latest gross domestic product figures indicated growth, a recession could still be imminent. With rampant inflation, Americans are grappling with wages that struggle to keep up with the rising cost of living and things like this. But just about 28% of people say they approve of a fourth stimulus check.
We've all seen content creators.
Do you agree with this, everybody? Tell me in the comments down below. So will you be receiving a stimulus check this month? I know that's the question that many of you want to be answered. Listen to this. You are eligible to receive more stimulus checks from a new federal program. This is really great because it's going to help so many people that are financially struggling due to the crisis. So remember folks, on this channel, I always do my very best in providing you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check and Social Security news. So it really means a lot to me if you could subscribe to the channel.
An executive order to ensure that the federal government puts you, the American people, at the front of the line and for first in everything we do. I'm directing 17 agencies here to focus on more than 30 key areas to make it easier to apply for services and benefits that they're entitled to, they paid for, theirs, their government.
Now back to the breaking news, folks. The Restaurant Meals program also covers people with disabilities and people experiencing homelessness. The plan being required to prove that you are the rightful owner. For example, providing documents confirming your identity. States often try to locate people as well, for instance, matching the owner's information to a tax return. And according to officials, state treasuries get new unclaimed property turned over to them every single day. Officials are encouraging people to check their missing money in a national cleaning house for unclaimed assets, and most people are participating in this. The IRS may have some extra money for you, and the tax agency has announced that more than $500 million in outstanding refunds remain unclaimed for the 2019 tax. The agency estimates that more than 1.5 million taxpayers might have qualified for a refund but did not file a federal income tax return for the 2019 tax year. If you are due a refund, you must file a federal income tax return to get your money. Things are a little bit different this year. You have more time than usual to claim the 2019 refund. That's because the normal filing deadline to claim refunds is typically around the April tax deadline. But the filing deadline, everybody, for 2019 tax returns wasn't normal at all. It was postponed to July 15th due to the crisis. The IRS estimates the midpoint for the potential unclaimed refunds for 2019 to be $893. That means half of the refunds are more than $893 and half are less.
Tonight, money is on the way to millions of Californians to help ease the pain of inflation. The stimulus payments are part of the state budget deal just announced last night. The checks are designed as
on the offensive. I have high hopes in the coming days or weeks they will liberate part of their territory occupied by Russia. The assistance we have provided in a bipartisan fashion and our European allies has made all the difference.
No guaranteed paid sick time. So that's not cool, and that's not right, and it's definitely not good, and it's definitely not what we want to hear from Joe Biden. What we want to see is that Joe Biden do more for the people in sending out stimulus payments, because he should definitely do something now while he still has the chance. Because as the U.S. enters a recession this year, everybody, we have important news for Social Security, SI, SDI, and even SSA. They have proposed a brand new stimulus program. When I say they, I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans. They will allocate billions of dollars towards new relief. Some Americans will receive these checks automatically, while others are going to have to a little bit more action. So there is a little less than a month before Colorado residents even who file their taxes receive this extra money. The Colorado Cashback Program, for instance, will give taxpayers who file their 2021 taxes by October 17th, $750 by the end of this month of January. Eligible couples will get $1,500, and even the governor who signed the law in May is set to return the money to taxpayers, as he originally intended for the payment to be $400 for individual filers and $800 for couples. According to the Colorado Department of Revenue, the amount was increased due to excess state revenue. The payment arriving by the end of the month will be for state residents who filed an extension, and the first round of payments was for people who had filed their taxes by June 30th and paid to residents September 30th payments. So, example of this is what I'm talking about, and when Colorado residents, they must be 18 or older by the end of this year to claim this free stimulus credit. Free stimulus credit, folks, because if a taxpayer who's eligible to receive this check owes any money to the government, like a child support or unpaid parking tickets, well, the rebate amount will decrease. Also, everybody, President to the House Representatives, as they're still struggling to enact somebody to take charge. So what I want to say is that the infrastructure law put aside $100 billion for roads and bridges, and now rural broadband, ports, and other items are having some difficulties around us. For instance, this week's visit coincided with the announcement that approximately $2 billion of the money will be set aside for repairs in a large bridge program, which includes the Brent Spent Bridge and 3 other bills that the administration describes as some of America's most economically significant spans. Now, Kamala Harris also has visited Ford Drawbridge in the south side of Chicago near Illinois. She's talking about something about to repair these bridges, and Biden and other officials have also talked about lauding the importance of economic repairs for bridges in the business community. In total, the infrastructure law puts aside $40 billion for somebody to take care of this thing. Joe Biden has made several